Man, oh man, oh man. The moment that hip-hop culture, well, some of y'all crazy-ass niggas in hip-hop culture have been waiting for has finally arrived. Somebody in Miami who was a Piru decided to run down on Charleston White and damn near attack him in Miami. Let's watch.
Yo, chill, bro. It's not working. How do you hear Piru? Hey, show him doing something on camera. Show him doing something on camera.
Let's do it.
Show him doing something on camera.
Get it going.
If you recording me,
Let's
show
do
him
it.
doing
Let's
something.
get it going.
Man, you want to
Let's
record,
do it.
you do something, man.
I'm recording.
What you calling all that?
I'll hold him.
Fuck all that. I got drugs, nigga. Fuck that bullshit, nigga. That don't mean nothing.
You want to get it in?
Fuck that. You recording him?
Yep, I'm
If
recording.
you're fucking recording, you're supposed to do something. You don't all that shit.
Nigga, he talking about my culture, nigga. He didn't say
That
that. He
shit,
talking
man.
about my culture.
You probably ain't even seen the nigga you talking about, nigga.
You want to hit the alley? The alley right there. The alley right there. The alley right there. The alley right there.
Now, one thing I want to take away from the video is this, right? Somebody decided to run down on Charleston White in Miami, and this somebody just so happened to be a Piru blood. According to him, he's a Piru blood. This guy throws up gang signs in the video. Grown man throwing up gang signs in the video. Throwing up gang signs, grown man. He also goes on to throw up the gang signs and say Piru. He then also goes on to say he disrespected my culture. Charleston White disrespected my culture. You can't make this shit up. You can't make it up on any planet. You cannot devise this. You can't write this. We as black men seem to just keep embarrassing ourselves over and over and over again. Why do I see people talking about somebody need to run down on Charleston White and kill him and do this and do that? Y'all wasn't talking that way about all these other niggas that disrespected the dead. Y'all celebrated King Von like a hero died. Y'all celebrated King Von like Martin Luther King died. Look, I'm not in the business of disrespecting the dead. I vehemently disagree with Charleston White slandering King Von, Nipsey Hussle, Drakeo the Ruler. I completely disagree with those things. But what I do agree with is the fact that Charleston White did point out that y'all are the last people, those of you who are angry with Charleston White's comments, are the last people to criticize him, because you guys also tend to be the people who are lapping it up and in love when Duck was dissing the dead, when Vaughn was dissing the dead, when all these other gangster rappers were violating and disrespecting and calling black women bitches and hoes and disrespecting the dead and violating black women's dead children. When that was happening, you niggas were streaming it and turning up and fucking bashing your fucking heads, going crazy. Charleston White gets on the internet and dishes out the exact same disrespect with no beat playing in the background and no catchy hook or lyrics. You niggas get angry and y'all want to run down on Charleston White in Miami. Let me say this to Charleston. Charleston, you need to watch out. You're not invincible. You're not untouchable. You're not God. You can be touched. And I'm not saying that you need to change the way that you talk, but you do need to change the way that you move. I don't think there's any convincing Charleston that dissing the dead is the wrong move. I don't think he's ever going to stop. In fact, a Say Cheese video just dropped like 2 minutes ago, a second ago, where Charleston White is saying, hey, look, I'm saying it because y'all think this is cool. It's cool to disrespect the dead until I disrespect the people that y'all like. So I don't think there's any convincing Charleston to stop. At this point, Charleston needs to start moving smarter. Charleston needs to start moving smarter, and he needs to start avoiding certain areas and avoiding certain things. Going to Rolling Loud as Charleston White might not be the right move. A lot of people that are into these gangster rappers might see your ass. It might be a problem. Now, to the dude who confronted Charleston, what are you trying to prove? You're mad at him because he disrespected your culture. A gang life is just that. It's a lifestyle. It's not a culture. No ethnic, racial, national, no group of people should ever embrace what you're embracing and promoting as a culture. There's no situation in which this is okay, where we as a community embrace Piru or blood as a culture in any way, shape, or form. One thing about black gangs that stands out to me is that unlike other gangs, which for the most part actually prioritize production and industriousness, if that's even a word, Other gangs that prioritize the movement of drugs and actually selling something, they sell a product, they make millions if not billions off of selling. Black gangs' main focus is destruction and killing one another. What have the Pirus done for the black community on a mass scale that demands so much respect that Charleston White needs to have his ass beat in Miami in front of millions of people on the internet? What have the Piru gang done? What have they done that's so unbelievably important that if Charleston White doesn't get the shit knocked out of him, the world will be a worse off place for it? Somebody help me understand. Why do we as a community still to this day give so much high reverence to these gangs? I don't understand. Now, I'm sitting on the internet looking at what people have to say. And somebody on Twitter said this: y'all niggas ain't never ran up on George Zimmerman like this. Fuck this culture. Then somebody replies to him and says, the fuck this got to do with Zimmerman? Not shit. Now, a lot of us black men in the community, we argue like women. You know exactly what he meant bringing up George Zimmerman. You know exactly what he meant. Y'all sit there and act like y'all are defending the community or the culture by going at Charleston White. But you conveniently do not want to go at George Zimmerman. Make it make sense. Now, when somebody points it out, you try to shift it away like, what that got to do with George Zimmerman? Y'all ain't never going to get around to him. Y'all could kill 100 Charleston Whites. You'll never touch a George Zimmerman a day in y'all's lives. In fact, last I heard, he lives in a sundown town in Texas. So he's doing everything in his power to survive niggas, and niggas ain't even trying to do nothing to him. The last person to shoot at George Zimmerman was a white man. This is unbelievably embarrassing. To see black men be so hyped up out of their mind to attack Charleston. Soulja Boy is another situation. Soulja Boy and Charleston have personal beef. But to see a black man go out of his way, who has no personal beef with Charleston White, to try to attack him in Miami, it goes to show the mental weakness of us as black men. It goes to show that our head is not in the game. We have no concept of order. We have no concept of morals. We have no concept of culture. We have no concept of anything. We're just lost. We're lost. It's embarrassing that the DA of Atlanta is a woman, and she's the one getting rid of these gangs. It's embarrassing that a woman has to do it. A black man, for some reason, we as black men have not gathered the stones or the brain cells to come together and take care of these problems. Instead, the black women of the community have to talk sense into us because we don't think with sense. Why is it that the only people that should be arguing stupid shit, trying to argue and protect these niggas that running up on Charleston White, should be women? No rational, logical man in his right mind should be defending these people running down on Charleston White. Because Charleston White, as disrespectful as he has been on multiple occasions, at the end of the day, 90% of the time, Charleston White is in the right. Gang culture has no place being at the helm of black identity. Gang culture has no place being at the forefront of the black American image. And it's of the utmost importance that someone like Charleston White is at all times protected and uplifted when he's saying the right things. When he's on camera saying F King Von, F Nipsey Hussle, F Drake, you're the ruler, there's no circumstance in which we as a culture should be praising that or uplifting that. But when Charleston White calls out the toxicity of this culture that we have built for the last 30 to 40 years, teaching black children that it's cool to be Piru or cool to be a blood and run down on a nigga for disrespecting gangs, when we get rid of that culture, we be making headway and progress, which is why Charleston White's presence is unbelievably important. But all in all, it's crazy, you know? People kept talking about running down on Charleston, and it seems to be a reality now, you know? He's encountered multiple people that had issues with what he has to say. He hasn't been touched yet. He just maced Soulja Boy a day ago. We'll see what happens. Hopefully he stays out of trouble. Like, comment, subscribe. I'm out.